My favorite phone right now is the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. But you can almost buy 3 next tier phones for the price of 2 flagships. And with how slowly Android handset makers provide operating system updates, including gigantic companies like Samsung, this cost of staying current metric becomes an important one to consider. So, is the S9 Plus really $300 better than the OnePlus 6? Let's figure that out, shall we? Brought to you by PIA. Private internet access features fast, multi-gigabit VPN tunnel gateways worldwide. So if you're looking for a VPN, you can learn more about PIA at the link in the video description. I already covered the specs of the OnePlus 6 in my recent sponsored hands-on video. So rather than listing a bunch of part numbers, I'm gonna just make this PC analogy. When it comes to performance, OnePlus compromises nothing. Generation after generation, they've crammed the latest enthusiast-grade CPU, RAM, graphics card, and storage device into an enclosure, then saved a few bucks by going for a mainstream-level motherboard, a good, if not exceptional display, and then some less flashy peripherals. So my demo unit here is an 8 gig RAM, 128 gig storage affair, and I could easily use all the same words as any top-tier phone to describe the experience of using it. Snappy, fluid, lightning fast. But every phone is fast when it's new, and you're all tired of hearing that stuff, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to talk about software, because that's where OnePlus seems to be trying to set themselves apart. It wasn't a perfect rollout, but the OnePlus 3 and the 3T were among the first older Android phones to get Android 8.0 Oreo in November of 2017. That's 4 months before the Galaxy S8 and 6 months before the S7, another 2016 phone. This kind of investment in software is what keeps older phones secure and running smoothly, and it's something that I want to encourage them to keep up. Especially because I really like their Oxygen OS variant of Android. It manages to not screw up the light, stock Android experience while adding features and customization toggles that improve ease of use rather than adding frustration. And the display notch, believe it or not, is a great example of this. It's there on the phone, but you have to actually go out of your way to make it do anything stupid, like take a bite out of a full screen video in landscape mode. You have to not only enable the notch in the first place, but you also have to specifically allow that app, like YouTube, to use that space. And OnePlus also says that they'll be adding an option post-launch to switch the top pixels of their AMOLED display off completely, so you will never have to look at it at all. Another big software feature this time is gesture-based navigation. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of Apple's removal of the home button on the iPhone X, and I still prefer buttons, be they physical or software, that I can click or push on. But I'm also all about user choice, especially when it comes to things that there's just no good reason to lock down, like the ability to switch the back and recents buttons. Google. So, you swipe up the middle for home, then you swipe and hold for recents, and when you're inside an app, you just swipe up on the left side or the right side for back. It works really well, and in spite of my worries that back would interfere with scrolling on long web pages, the detection for where the swipe needs to start in order to register the gesture is good enough that after 10 minutes, I never accidentally triggered it again. My only real complaint is that I would like to see a configurable delay on the recents gesture and, while we're at it, maybe edge-to-edge coverage for the included screen protector. The ridge here is a little too sharp for comfort, but I can't say the same for the camera. We're long past megapixel counts meaning anything, so I spent some time in our studio and on the streets of London to gather some test images. Now, I'm no photography buff like Brandon, so I'm sure my composition is amateur hour, but there's a lot of information that we can glean here. Compared to the Galaxy S9, almost anything else pales when it comes to low light performance. And Samsung was the only one to handle this extremely challenging high contrast shot correctly. So you see how the inner part of the petals have some orange to them? Not one of the other phones I tested, including the OnePlus 6, managed to pick this up. Though to OnePlus's credit, they avoid the awful over-sharpening artifacts that destroyed pretty much everything the Mate 10 Pro spat out. This brick right here looks like a painting if you zoom in enough. And subjectively, the 6 does as good a job as any other device that I tested of capturing the scene in front of me as my eye saw it, with true-ish to life colors and not a ton of noise in the image. Now, I'm not into bokeh post-processing background blurring techniques, but it does have that if you're into it. And thanks to the nice wide f1.7 aperture and larger main sensor, I found myself getting a touch more real background blur in my shots compared to other smartphones. Though, in fairness to the S9, in this one, it is sharper across the board. We've reached the point with OnePlus where the camera launches so fast, snaps so quickly, and looks so good that as someone who finds stuff like a fraction of a second 960 FPS slow motion mode pretty impractical, I don't feel like I'm giving anything up here. Even the selfie camera seems adequately suitable with a background blur update coming shortly after launch. Which brings us to the part where we are giving something up. There is a reason that Samsung moves more than twice as many phones as their closest Android competitor, and many times more than scrappy upstart OnePlus. With a little bit of tweaking, you can get pretty screen-off notifications like ambient mode, and you can get quick access to the time, but that is not as good as an always-on display. The OnePlus 6's water resistance is unofficial rather than IP rated. The 6 lacks wireless charging altogether, an awesome feature these days. OnePlus's Face Unlock is shockingly fast and works in a wide variety of conditions. Check this out. Boom. But it isn't as secure as iris scanning. You give up gimmicky extra camera modes like the S9's cool panorama selfie. The 6's earphone speaker isn't amplified for stereo sound in landscape mode, which is a huge bummer for me. And while dual SIM is good, a secondary combo slot for a second SIM or a micro SD card is much better. The OnePlus 6 has no expandable storage. So yeah, that is a pretty significant list. But none of these things have a devastating effect on day-to-day use for me, like the removal of the headphone jack on recent generation iPhones and the Pixel 2 XL. So OnePlus gets mad kudos, both for keeping the headphone jack and for making a great value, high performance device once again. Now, I'm gonna switch back to the S9 Plus, but that's only because I already have one. If it was my money today, the OnePlus 6, with a Dbrand skin of course, because even the matte version is pretty darn slippery, looks like a better bang for the buck. There we go, that's a little better. Now I can actually hold on to this thing. Dbrand skins are available in a wide variety of different colors and finishes and feature unrivaled precision. They measure many times to ensure a factory fit for your product. And not only do they look great, but they protect against incidental damage and they make it easier to hold on to your phone in the first place. Their customer service robots are easy to work with and wonderful, and their products are affordable and ship worldwide. Check out Dbrand at the link in the video description. So thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do. But if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit that like button, or check out the link to where to buy the stuff we featured in the video description. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join.